Perhaps the most important advice you'll ever hear. Welcome back. I'm Gila Ross, host of the Power Up podcast, where we talk about real life issues and tease apart what's true and what's not. And in this series, Torah for Today, we take a short idea from the Torah portion of the week to help us create a beautiful life. It's an ancient story, but if we look at it, we can recognize and relate to the heartbreak of it. What am I talking about? In this week's Torah portion, Moses comes down and sees that the Jews, who just weeks ago had been at their pinnacle, had received the Torah from God himself, were now abandoned their faith and had built a golden calf and were dancing around it. He takes the tablets that he had received from God and smashes them to the ground. Shattered dreams, but within it, it teaches us the three phases of creating a beautiful life. First comes the initial excitement. The Jews receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai, with a shofar blast, with the entire world watching, and you're sure that everything is going to work out, it's all going to be great. Then comes the inevitable next stage. Something is going to break. But then there is a stage 3, and that is the joyous reunion. Now let's look at how this plays out in our life. Let's start with the example of marriage. First, it starts with a wedding. Beautiful, excitement, love. But then what happens is real life. Suddenly we see flaws in each other that we never saw before. We wonder, was it a mistake? Was it not a mistake? We start to argue and find fault. And then is stage 3. What is stage 3? After Moses broke the tablets, God told him, carve for yourself 2 stone tablets. That is stage 3. The 2 people have to make a new commitment. We have to accept what is and then make a new commitment. Rav Shach used to give premarital advice to grooms that were getting married, and he would tell them that the worst character trait a person can have is stubbornness. That stubbornness that says, I am who I am and you have to accept me for who I am. A person who's not willing to weed out the negative parts of themselves and to resculpt themselves after conflict is not relationship material. We see that after the Jews danced around the golden calf, God chose to forgive them. It's the same thing with parenting. It begins with the birth of a child, so exciting. And then we realize, hold on a second, this is not what I had envisioned. This is not the type of child I was expecting. From that pain, we have to do 2 things. We have to, number 1, accept the spouse, accept the child for who they are. And number 2, choose to focus on the harmony that we can create. And that is how we go about and we create a beautiful life for ourselves. Thank you for listening. I'm currently offering all listeners a free strategy call so that you can get clarity on how you can get what you want in life. Check the show notes for how to access this offer. Thank you again for listening. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and please share, because sharing is caring. Thank you and have a wonderful day.